Hello, wonderful people. Today I'm talking about manipulation. Manipulation. Not with your hands, with your words. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So many people think that if you were a manipulator, you're bad. Many people think that manipulation is bad. But manipulation is neither bad nor good. It just is. If you get some plasticine and you do this with it, you are manipulating the plasticine. You're changing the shape. You're moulding it into something else. Yeah, you can manipulate a bowl or make something in porcelain, make a beautiful cup to drink your coffee out of, and you've manipulated that porcelain. Nothing bad about that. But also you can manipulate people to do things for the better or for the worse. And it depends. Manipulation isn't bad in and of itself or good in and of itself. It's the intention behind the manipulation. So I'm saying that because I was talking to the emissaries and I said, hey, how are things going? How's it going? And they said, well, everything's going really well. We are helping a lot of people and manipulating a lot of circumstances. And that stood out to me. And I said, so what manipulation? What are you manipulating? And what they said was that, yes, we manipulate. We manipulate people's experience so that when they receive their nudges, we talked about the nudges, things to help them to get on the path. They said when they receive the nudges stand out more. And I said, so how do you do that? What kind of manipulation do you do? And they said, well, we manipulate people emotionally. And they've done that to me oodles of times now, where they've allowed me to feel a very, very strong emotion at the right time. That's made me burst into tears or whatever. And so what they said was that, imagine a nudge comes, right? A nudge, whatever it is. It can be something that somebody says to you. It can be an event that happens. Imagine when you get that nudge and there's no emotion to it, or you're detached from it. It has very little impact. But when you get a nudge and it's linked to a very heavy emotion, big emotion, it impacts. And so it makes it stand out. And that's what they said that they do, manipulating emotions a little bit. They also said that what they do is that they make nudges stand out by creating something outside of the normal, right? Outside of the normal. So one thing could be a very heavy emotion, that's outside of the normal. But they also said that they can do things, they can manipulate circumstances, they can create coincidences. With me, at the beginning, to get my attention, they had to move my body, right? They moved my head, which was outside of the normal, and I knew it wasn't me. What they said is that we manipulate the nudges so that people say, and these were their words, so people say, this is not normal. How many of us have had an experience, whatever, coincidence, something that happened, something emotional, and we say, this is not normal. This is outside of the normal. Well, what they say is that's one of their jobs, is to do that. So they might create a series of coincidences that allow you to say, hang on a minute. No, this is way outside of the normal. I'm getting this message. I've had this message 3 times today. There must be something extra. There must be some more going on. Yeah. So that's what they're up to at the moment. And what they said is that once a person has opened up to a nudge, when they have paid special attention to it, they rarely forget it. We all have these experiences that stick in our mind. I can remember listening to somebody telling a story about them driving in a car and they were really cold and the heating had stopped working in the car. And I can't remember who it was that told me. And they were driving. It was just an awful experience that they were having. They were freezing. And then on the radio, a song came on and suddenly the heating came on. And it was like the song was linked to the heating. It was a song of hope and everything and changed the whole journey for them. I can remember standing in the kitchen talking about when the plan/demic was going to end. And I said, when it's over, those lights are coming on. I've told you this. Those lights are coming on. And I pointed my finger to outside because we've got these like streamer lights and I was going to put them on. And as I pointed my finger, the kitchen light that had been off came on. Those moments stay with you. You don't forget them. And it's like an affirmation to say that what you were saying was right. Or what somebody else was saying was right. Or was very important. And so the emissaries were saying that's why they do that, because once that happens to you, you're on the watch, you're on the lookout all of the time. Your perception is open to, and what else is going to happen? And we start looking for things. Do we look too much? And do we find coincidences where there aren't coincidences? Yes, of course we do. Yes, of course. But there are some that are not, like some of the coincidences are here. I think, well, that's a bit tenuous, isn't it? That's a bit tenuous. But there are some that are like, no, there's nothing that can explain this except extra help from outside. Yeah. Well, that's the emissaries. That's what they're doing. And the emissary said, and of course, it's for that reason that the baddies are working so jolly hard to keep us all distracted. They need us staring at our mobiles, staring at the television screen, listening to the news, being fearful, worrying about the future, living in the past. They want us anywhere except now, except here, watching what's happening. And it isn't talked about so much now, but repeated numbers. How many of the audience, how many of you have had a sequence of repeated numbers, seeing repeated numbers? Put my hand up. I still do. But it happens so often that I've almost assimilated it like, yeah, well, there you are, another repeated number. It's like, God bless you. And I think probably for yourselves, and that's why I don't hear many people talking about it, because it's like a standard. It's standard now, repeated numbers. And yet at the beginning it was like, oh my God, 11:11, oh 23:23, oh my God, I've seen 23:23 twice, 2 nights in a row. Now it's like, well, that's what I always see. So they're important at the beginning because they stand out at the beginning. After that, we're looking out for them and we see them all the time. And it's just like a confirmation that we're on the right track, we're doing the right thing, and quite often you listen to the message or the thought that you had when you see it and you think, yeah, okay, there's some sort of link. Well, the baddies don't want us to be doing that. They want us any other way than that. The emissaries were saying, however, no matter how much they're trying to keep us distracted, more and more people are turning to that inner journey. So many people are on this inner journey. And what's the inner journey? Well, the inner journey is going down the road of self-discovery, meditation, contemplation. All of those lead to quietening of the mind. And that's all that we need to do. That's all they want us to do, is quieten our minds. We quieten our minds and they can do their work. If all we have is constant distraction, constant static in our minds, we won't be able to hear them. They'll do the work, but we won't see it. They'll be giving us these coincidences and they'll just be going woo, woo, woo. So we have to quieten ourselves down, and we have to be open to them as well. Expect them to happen. You expect them to happen, they'll happen. Yeah. So in the comments, if you've had any of these coincidences, or if you've had any of these like really big nudges where there's been big emotion and it's changed your life, write them down for me so I can read them and comment. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.